Hey everyone, I just got done watching Tangled, and boy, am I happy right now. Boy, am I enthusiastic about this movie. It's definitely one of the more solid Disney movies I've seen in the past couple of years. Probably not, on par with some of my favorites. Of course, I'm a big fan of Disney's Hercules, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, a lot of the 90s ones, I would say. It's not quite as good as that, I would say, but it's good in a different way. I think those movies, excuse me, I've been playing a lot of video games. I think those movies kind of excel at like this feeling of like grandiosity and sort of have these crazy, amazing hand-drawn animation, great adaptions of classic stories from all over the world. I think they're all just fantastic. I love most of them, I would say. Tangled, it feels way different to me. It does feel like a new era of Disney. This is the first time I've seen it. This movie is about like 10 years old. I can't believe it's been this long. It's been that long since it came out, but I have sat down, I have watched it, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. It has no real problems, so to speak. It feels I think the main thing most people are going to notice, going into this, well, the thing I kind of focused a lot on is like just the differences between like hand-drawn and computer CGI animation. There are strengths and weaknesses to that. Like I do, of course, love the classic hand-drawn animation. I love the style. I love the creativity. I love the personality. I love that style, right? I just love that classic 90s style. But this does a great job, I think, at feeling a lot more fluid. It feels a lot more animated. It feels a lot more natural. It feels a lot more personable. Especially, I think, when it comes to the expressions. The expressions in this, particularly from Rapunzel herself, are just downright amazing. They can get across a lot of, like, emotion just by animating her face a certain way. Like, it's incredible how much she goes from like the opening sequence where it gets across her personality, but it also gets across her mindset, her view of the world, setting up the core conflict, like purely based on her facial expressions and how the characters treat each other. And I do think this is another thing that sets the movie apart from the 90s ones, which kind of like have some kind of like crazy, over the top, well, not necessarily over the top, some grand sort of like magical event, like Aladdin finds a genie, Ariel becomes a human. This one is a bit more grounded in a way. This one is about a mother or about a woman trying to essentially abuse her adopted daughter. Like, maybe not abuse, try to use her adopted daughter for her own benefit. Like a woman using this girl for her own gain, essentially. Like, it's not about Rapunzel. Nothing Mother Gothel does is for Rapunzel's benefit at all. Like, everything involving Rapunzel's life, the way she lives, the way she's treated, like it's all a method to just keep her in the tower and keep her away from the rest of the world, to keep her to keep her in a place where Mother Gothel can just use her power to sort of revitalize herself forevermore, essentially. She is essentially a very, very selfish, self-centered sort of individual, and they do such a good job of sort of like really making this concept relatable. It's not over the top. There's no real like typical Disney final encounter. They just sort of encounter each other near the end, and they manage to have a satisfying resolution. It's a story of abuse, like really from start to finish, and I think it's a lot more relatable than a lot of other Disney movies who have done a similar topic. Like Hunchback isn't really all that relatable. Like I would say Hunchback is probably the closest to this. But like when you compare to like, what's the deal with Hunchback? Okay, so you have this guy going around killing gypsies who kills a gypsy, then realizes the baby she's carrying is ugly. So he's about to kill it before he's stopped and told that he has to take care of it. And in a moment of humanity, he decides that he decides to do it out of fear of his immortal soul. Mother Gothel, it's a bit more grounded. Like, it's a bit more relatable. It's a bit more realistic in this respect, where it really does feel like a parent exploiting a child, or a child under their care, like a guardian exploiting a child under their care. It's like it's some kind of like weird fantasy child labor sort of deal here, where like you have to sort of child slavery, where you sort of have to keep this girl locked up in order to get what you want from her. And Gothel is just great. I love their interactions. I love the way how like Rapunzel legitimately seems to think that Mother Gothel cares about her on some level. Like, it really does feel like Rapunzel doesn't quite understand that she's being abused, which is actually very, very realistic very realistic to, I guess, real life. It's very true to real life, where actual children don't understand that their parents aren't exactly good people. You know what I mean? Like, she sort of takes Mother Gothel for her word for a long time, longer than she should. And it's not until the movie goes on where she starts doubting her reasoning for why she's doing what she's doing, or like questioning her motivations, or like it's interesting seeing Rapunzel like try to make deals with her and try to play on her own terms, and like try to prove that like she can handle the outside world. She is brave. She is strong, and she is really compelling. I love Rapunzel herself as like a character. She's just so likable and adorable, and just so full of energy, and doing so many things, and just so definitely. I don't want to call her like the best Disney princess, because like unfortunately I think she kind of trails behind. She kind of reminds me of Aurora in that sense. Like, she's very she has that sort of like same kind of appeal to her, you know what I mean? Like, she likes doing traditionally feminine things. She's really cutesy. She's really kind to everyone around her. It's cute. It's compelling. Like, I love it. This is classic Disney stuff, but it is something we've seen before. It doesn't feel like something completely new and different, the way that like the 90s ones kept pushing out like year after year after year. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all that different from what we've seen before. Like, I think mostly Rapunzel sort of works because I feel like some of the side characters are more fleshed out, specifically Flynn Rider, Eugene, her love interest in this. I was thinking about this when I was watching the movie. He actually feels like his own character. Like, I don't like him nearly as much as I probably should. I mean he's okay. I don't hate him or anything. I kind of wish his background was more fleshed out or interesting, or but you do get the impression they have a connection, they have a real relationship, and it's legitimately really charming and cute. You know what I mean? It's so it feels like Eugene, or Flynn Rider as he likes to be known as. This guy is like I said before, like traditionally Disney princes have been really blank slate individuals to just sort of be the guy to sort of go out and do certain things, you know what I mean? Like traditionally, like Snow White. I don't even think the guy in Snow White has a name. The guy in Sleeping Beauty, I mean, I love that guy, but I don't even remember his name. Prince Philip. He's hilarious. Oh, father, this is the 14th and a half century. It's just like, was it 14 or 16? I can't remember. I think it was 16. 14, I don't remember. Something like that. But again, like, he's pretty generic looking. He doesn't have, like, the same sort of passion or creativity put into his design the way that, Aurora herself had, the way Rapunzel has. Flynn Rider, it feels like they actually tried to make him his own individual character with a story arc and, like, an actual relevance to the plot. And it kind of works. It's kind of engaging. Honestly, I kind of wish they either fleshed it out more, made him like, I don't know. I think I almost kind of prefer the blank slate angle because that could have been more time on Rapunzel. I don't know. That's just... There are problems with this, I think. Mostly with, like, certain plot elements that sort of just make you just go like, huh? How did that happen? Like, towards the end, like, Mother Gothel, of course she loses. Yeah, spoilers for a 10-year-old movie. Of course she loses. They cut Rapunzel's hair. Again, spoilers. And somehow that immediately kills her. Like, that immediately makes her old and, like, she immediately comes to dust. Why? I don't think there was any indication that would happen. Like, in the long term, yeah, that would have fucked her up. And I think that actually would have been better if she was, like, I don't know, like, just incapacitated and just forced to watch herself, like, grow older over, like, a long period of time. Like, wouldn't it, like, be amazing? Okay, I literally just came up with this ending, and I think this would have been better. Wouldn't it have been amazing if Rapunzel... That's another problem with my movie. Rapunzel like Rapunzel discovering she's like actually the princess kind of comes out of nowhere. It kind of feels like a cop out to me. Like, she should have like actually met her parents and then like discovered like who she was. Like, this entire thing. Honestly, my opinion is that she should never have gone back to the tower. Okay, so what should have happened, I think, is that she meets her real parents. They reconnect. They bond. And then they start talking about Mother Gothel, and they really should have emphasized just how much better the actual parents are than Mother Gothel. Like, there should have been that moment where Rapunzel knows this is what a real family is like. And you sort of get that near the end, but it's like, it's all unspoken. It's not part of the plot. Like, the plot is basically resolved by that point. And because, like, Rapunzel is a brunette now, you get this weird... Wait, why would you think this brunette girl was this little blonde baby with, like, no real evidence? It just doesn't make any sense. But, like, you just have to sort of buy it. But it sort of works. I mean, she strongly resembles the mother. So, I mean, I guess they would buy it. I guess they bought it. But anyway. So what they should have happened is that, like, Mother Gothel should have utilized... I don't know, done something, like worked with, I don't know, those criminals or something to sort of recapture Rapunzel in this castle, right? And then she gets incapacitated, and then Rapunzel has to cut her hair, and then we slowly watch Mother Gothel get old in prison or something. Like, imagine, like, we see, like, flashes of, like, Rapunzel and Flynn, like, living their lives together. Flynn agreeing to marry her, or as he says, as he claims at the end of the movie, which is actually hilarious. I do think Flynn was an entertaining character. What they should have done is, show this sequence, right? Show this flashing of, like, them getting married, having kids, having a great family life together, a great, wonderful life, and then Rapunzel realizes someday that Mother Gothel is dead, and then she looks at her own child, and like, they go out and play together. Like, that I think would have been a better ending. Just the immediately turning old thing, I don't know, that didn't make any sense. Like, there's nothing about the hair that sort of makes me think that, like, oh, it could... If it was cut, it would immediately make her old and turn to dust. I don't understand. And then there's like that weird aspect, like how the fuck did Mother Gothel find this thing to begin with? How the fuck did news of this flower get out? Like, are there more of them? Is the sun just randomly dropping these things all over the world? Like, what the fuck? Whatever. Like, you just have to sort of buy some of these aspects, and it does work in spite of like some of the things that make you ask questions. Like, Rapunzel somehow has the satchel with her in the boat, and like gives it to Flynn as if like he hadn't seen it already in like a fucking boat, and it's just like, how the fuck? How was she carrying this thing around with her? Where was it? Like, where was she hiding it? Like, surely like Flynn would have noticed it and like pointed it out to her, like, hey, I see you have my satchel. Just it's things like that. But overall, incredibly emotional movie. It has complex themes. It deals with tough topics really well in a really fun, inventive way. It's emotional. It's charming. The horse is an absolute Chad. Like, Maximus is like the Chad of horses. Like, Maximus is an absolute boss. And like, that's one of my other complaints, is that like he starts working with Flynn for no reason other than the fact that like he seems to like Rapunzel, which is, I don't know, I think kind of a cop-out. That kind of goes into like my bit about Flynn not being nearly as involved in the plot as he probably should have been. I don't know. Like, I think they could have done a lot. I think they could have done a little bit more in that regard. They could have made the ending a little bit stronger, but like overall, I really enjoyed this. I think it was spectacular. I think overall, I enjoyed this more than any other Disney movie I've seen recently. I was just looking at like a list of complete Disney films, and I don't think there's anything I really want to see. Like, maybe Frozen, just to see what the big deal is. Maybe Big Hero 6. Maybe like anything in Kingdom Hearts. Toy Story 3, the Toy Story trilogy, of course. I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts 3 now, so that's the main reason I finally got around to watching this. And you know what? I enjoyed myself. Yeah, I legit thought it was solid. I legit thought it was entertaining. I legit will probably watch this again with my own kids someday. Probably. If I ever have them. Anyway, so Rapunzel... Tangled, yeah, there are some minor gripes I have, but overall I think it's entertaining, it's fun, it's cute, girls will love it, I'm sure. That is kind of my main complaint, is it feels like it's more targeted at girls. Honestly, I don't think, I'm not sure boys would like this nearly as much. I don't know what the fuck I am, because I enjoyed this so much. Well, I like this a lot, but, I guess I kind of like this, really kind of upbeat, lighthearted fantasy. I don't know. That is kind of an interesting thing to talk about. Maybe that'll be a subject of another video. Why do I like these girly-ass Disney movies? And it does feel like really girly compared to a lot of the 90s Disney movies. I think those had a sort of, like I said, a sort of feeling that like it was made for everyone. This one really did sort of have this. I mean, it really did have this feeling that it was being targeted at girls. Which, considering it's like about a girl with like super long hair, like I can kind of understand doing that. But I mean, I think it's a testament to the film's quality that I really liked it in spite of that, in spite of the demographic being completely different. Like, again, I'm not a little girl, and I still really enjoyed this. I thought it was solid. I thought it was perfectly enjoyable. I probably would watch this again, to be honest with you. I mean, probably not right away. And again, this isn't going to be like one of my all-time favorite Disney movies or anything like that, but I think at the end of the day, I really liked it, and I'm definitely going to see. I'm going to definitely check and see if there's any other modern Disney movies that I've missed out on. I don't think there's a whole lot, but I do want to see Frozen, the original, at least once. And I do want to see Big Hero 6, but I'm not quite sure what else is out there. So yeah, if you have any recommendations for me, please let me know. I don't have Disney Plus. I buy all my movies on Amazon Prime, so on Amazon. So if you have any recommendations for me, please let me know. I am very, very enthusiastic about seeing what comes next out of Disney. Until then, I will see you all next time.